Think Different TV, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by me, your girl Ashia. Join me as I discuss social topics, spotlight independent artists, and share financial tips. Join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. Think Different TV, where minds meet. You're the reason I wake up, the reason I smile.
The mother, Jane Carter, gave a statement to TMZ saying, "I am in shock from learning of the sudden death of my daughter, Bobby Jean, and I will need time to process the terrible reality of this happening for the third time. When I'm able to think clearly, I'll release a fuller statement, but until then I would request to be left to grieve in private."
Tragedy for James Morrison after his partner Jill Catchpole was found dead at their family home in Gloucestershire.
Glynis Johns, the British actress known for her role as feminist icon Mrs. Banks in the film Mary Poppins, has passed away at the age of 100.
We're clearly soldiers in petticoats and dauntless crusaders for women's votes.
Breaking news! Actor David Soul, who earned fame as the blonde half of crime-fighting duo Starsky and Hutch in the popular 1970s television series, has died at the age of 80. Soul portrayed Detective Ken Hutchinson.
On Lavender Lane, just east of Interstate 26, the two were last seen Saturday night and last heard from around 8 p.m. that evening. Now, according to Richland County deputies, the family received a phone call. They were in Calhoun County and believe they may have been involved in a car accident. Now, Richland County authorities, along with both Orangeburg and Calhoun County officials, continued their search until this afternoon when they found Jason Murph's truck just off I-26 on Lavender Lane. Authorities found Michelle and Jason's bodies about 100 yards away from that truck, and right now it still is not clear just how they died or if the truck was involved in an accident. Right now, both the Calhoun County Coroner's Office as well as the Richland County Sheriff's Department are continuing to investigate this developing story.
Now, something doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all when it comes to this father and his daughter being found in Calhoun County. How did they end up 100 yards away from their truck? Now, hear me out. How did they end up 100 yards away from their truck? The wife mentioned that she received a call at around 8 p.m. from Jason that evening saying something about an accident. Why would he call her and not 911? Albeit, sometimes, we're going to call our spouse or somebody that's close to us and everything, but if it was a serious accident, why not call 911? All right, now, also, the truck was recovered burnt. The windows were busted out. The taillights were busted, and a tag was removed. This was off of exit 136 at I-26 West off of Lavender Lane. This is where 7 properties sit owned by what I found out called the Mack family. Now, when you look that up on the map, that there's no way anybody wouldn't have seen a fire. It's not that heavy. It's not that densely or heavily wooded. So somebody would have saw that fire, and there wasn't one phone call. And also, I'm going through social media and I'm looking at his Facebook, just social media accounts, and I didn't see anything mentioned about the wife. Was this a setup? Was this a setup? Something is not right. It's not sitting right. Something in the water is not mixing.
Settling situation in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi to be exact. It's been revealed 215 bodies were buried in unmarked graves behind a state jail in Jackson, of course. Attorney Ben Crump is now calling for an investigation. Families of the dead reportedly had no idea until last month. Some of them, those grave sites were only labeled by a number and a metal rod.
I have to put a trigger warning on this video because there is mention of suicide. But I need you to share this, engage with this post, because we need to get this word out. Dr. Antoinette Bonnie Candia Bailey died on Monday, January 8th by suicide. And this was as a result of documented bullying and mistreatment that she received from the president of the university. This is John B. Mosley. He serves as the 21st president of Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri. According to HBCU Buzz, sources state that Dr. Bailey was left unsupported after countless attempts to make known of the bullying and mistreatment. And before her passing, she also discussed in a letter the, quote, stigmatized bullying she faced from the president and other leadership officials. And although Dr. Bailey is no longer with us, we can still help her and we can still fight for her. Below are 2 email addresses that we can use to call for the immediate dismissal of Dr. John Mosley.
With the DUI crash that killed her 14-month-old son in September, prosecutors say Arbentina Johnson Lowry drove her minivan into the back of a SEPTA bus. Now, the toddler was found lying on the floor suffering from severe injuries. He later died from head trauma. Detectives say they found 2 empty whiskey bottles in the vehicle, as well as marijuana and cocaine. A blood test showed cocaine as well as a drug similar to fentanyl, a small amount of alcohol and methamphetamine in the mother's system.
Philadelphia police spent the entire day searching for 4-year-old Damari Carter, but unfortunately, they did not find him. Meanwhile, his mother and her boyfriend are charged with murder. Philadelphia police spent hours in the rain searching this dumpster at the intersection of Union and Brown Streets in West Philadelphia, hoping to find evidence or the remains of 4-year-old Damari Carter.
Nobody saw it coming. It completely took us blindsided because everybody was holding out hope that he was going to be found okay.
Ayanna Parrish has been worried about her young cousin Damari for weeks. Parrish says his mother, 28-year-old Dominique Bailey, told family members Carter was hit and killed by a car.
Once everybody started to get cops involved, because we're calling the children's hospital, and they're like, we've never heard of Damari Carter ever.
Police also found no evidence of a car crash. On Friday, detectives say Bailey provided information to police about her involvement with her son's death. Their investigation also led them to her boyfriend's house on Reno Street, which is just blocks away from the dumpster they were examining. Sources tell Action News investigators believe he was beaten to death.
How could anybody look out and put their hands on him and hurt him like that?
The surviving family of a security guard is suing Macy's after a shoplifter's attack led to his passing. Eric Harrison, pictured above, was a 27-year-old security guard working at a Macy's in Philadelphia. A man named Tyrone Tunnel came into the store and started trying to steal hats. Harrison and another guard told him to leave, but Tunnel didn't like that at all. He came back to the store with a weapon and attacked Harrison in the neck. He also injured another security guard in the face. Then he took off one shoe from the other guard, put it on, and fled onto a train. Harrison passed away, and the other guard is still in critical condition. Tunnel has an extensive criminal record, including numerous convictions for shoplifting and robbery. Harrison's mother says he was working 2 40-hour-a-week jobs. She told NBC 10, a local news station, that she will never see her son walk down the aisle and never see grandkids. And she wants there to be consequences for that. She says she wants Tunnel to be prosecuted and is worried he'll be given leniency despite what he did. Her lawyer says that shoplifting has been effectively decriminalized in the city of Philadelphia. The family is also suing Macy's for wrongful death. Philadelphia police say there have been over 250 shoplifting incidents at this Macy's alone in the 10 days of 2024 so far. The family says the store had given up on proper security procedures and that while sometimes they hired off-duty police officers, they didn't use them at the time of this incident. Harrison's mother says she's praying for the family of the other security guard, and Harrison's family has asked for the public to keep them in their prayers as well.
I was trying to let them know that something was not right.
Cartisha Morgan says she is living her nightmare. She hasn't heard from her daughter, 25-year-old Michaela Wickerson, since she and 5 others, including her 3-year-old granddaughter, vanished from her daughter's Berkeley home in August. She says Michaela has been manipulated by an online cult led by Rashad Jamal, a self-proclaimed prophet with tens of thousands of followers. Jamal is currently serving an 18-year sentence in Georgia for child molestation. Morgan says before disappearing, her daughter cut off all communication with her family last March, quit her corporate job, and maxed out her credit cards.
29-year-old with sexual exploitation of children. Fernandez is pictured here on his private Instagram. He and at least 6 other unidentified men sexually assaulted and raped a toddler at what appeared to be a Galleria Mall bathroom. Court documents say last month the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation reported 4 explicit videos found on the dark web to the FBI in which at least 2 toddlers ages 2 and 3 were filmed being sexually and verbally assaulted by multiple men at once. Relatives of the toddlers told investigators Fernandez was a friend and fellow Galleria employee who offered to watch the kids while they were at work at the mall.
A Missouri teacher faces charges on accusations she sexually abused a student after a witness showed police pictures of scratches on the alleged victim's back that he said came from sex. The student's father was also charged with child endangerment, with police claiming he knew about the alleged abuse and allowed it to continue. Haley Clifton Carmack, 26, was arrested in Texas on Friday and is charged with first-degree endangering the welfare of a child, second-degree statutory R, sexual contact with a student, and fourth-degree child molestation. She is awaiting extradition back to Missouri.
A school crossing guard viciously attacked while on the job. Action News obtained this video showing 3 women standing around the victim arguing at the corner of 28th and Cecil B. Moore in Philadelphia. This went on for several minutes until you see this woman dressed in all black take off her jacket and throw it on the ground. Moments later, the woman in black starts swinging at the crossing guard. The rest of the fight was obstructed by this SEPTA bus, which waited there until police arrived.
That's bad because they got kids around here. There's no examples for nobody.
This 38-year-old crossing guard just helped a bunch of kids cross the street when the unthinkable happens. Out of nowhere, a black Dodge Coupe slams into another vehicle. The Dodge then jumps the curb and barrels right into the crossing guard, and he goes flying into the air.
Here comes the car flying, bam, next thing you know, he flies over the car, leg off, and I'm on 911 screaming.
Miraculously, crossing guard Eduardo Villalpando survived the horrific crash, but he lost his left leg. We spoke to him from his hospital bed.
If it would have happened a few minutes earlier, unfortunately, there probably would have been kids involved.
Just last month, a New York City crossing guard was killed when a dump truck slammed into her near a school in Queens, leading to an outpouring of emotion from other crossing guards at her packed funeral. Despite the loss of his leg, Eduardo feels fortunate to be alive.
I feel 100% lucky. I'm very grateful, very blessed.
Season 7, episode 373 is loading because Martell Hull apparently was arrested for harassment. So according to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk, they got the actual mugshot and the details. Apparently, he was arrested for domestic violence, third harassing communications. You're probably wondering who. So am I. Is it Melody? Is it Ariane? Or is it someone else? Are we surprised? No, he's exhibited behavior that reminds us of what he's being accused of. This comes just in time when he was claiming after blasting Carlos King on social media that maybe he won't be returning for revealing that, a lot of their scenes are pre-produced. It's not completely reality. But now Carlos is not going to let you go, Martell. You're his forever.
People in Harvey, Illinois were just boarded up in their own apartments with no way out. So at this apartment complex in Harvey, Illinois, people came and started boarding up both the doors and windows of the apartments while some residents were still inside the apartment. Now them doing this caused residents such as a 73-year-old man to be trapped in their apartment that apparently had the door handle taken off. Now, as to why exactly this happened, the only thing we really have to go on is this letter from the city of Harvey that basically says the building department has decided that some units in this apartment complex be evacuated. This is due to an alleged safety risk to those who use the stairs and balconies, as apparently the stairs' structural integrity has surpassed its life expectancy. Now, after this happened and people were literally boarded in their apartments, videos of this incident went super viral and got a ton of backlash, which caused the boards that were trapping people in their apartments to be quickly taken down so they could leave without issue. But residents of the complex are still not happy with this, as many residents have been living at this apartment complex for a long time, and they really don't want to be forced out of their home.
Heart-stopping footage captured the moment the window of a new Boeing 737 MAX plane blew out shortly after takeoff. The Alaska Flight 1282, bound for Ontario in California, left Portland just after 5 p.m. local time on Friday, when a deactivated emergency door used as a regular cabin window blew out at 16,000 feet. The controversial jet was carrying 171 passengers and 6 crew. Miraculously, no injuries were reported on the plane.
We've got to talk about this craziness involving ultra-Orthodox Jews, secret tunnels, and the NYPD. Because as it turns out, in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the world, you got these secret tunnels. And specifically, the group that we're talking about is the Chabad Lubavitch community, which is actually the largest Hasidic group of Jews in the world. And also, what we've seen online is this whole tunnel situation leading to many, many conspiracy theories online. Unsurprisingly, many of them just anti-Semitic in general. But the reality here appears to be far simpler, right? A subsect of Chabad was just trying to connect with their main synagogue to a closed-down Jewish bathhouse for women in order to expand it. And the tunnel was actually discovered late last year when you had neighbors saying, hey, I hear weird sounds coming from the ground. And then city plumbing crews laying new lines discovered it. So obviously, the authorities not thrilled. Or there's a lot of reasons not to be pumped about a secret tunnel underneath the city and buildings. The first being their concerns that it could destabilize the buildings above it, which is one of the reasons you had construction crews there to try to fill in the tunnel. A situation that was then made worse because of members of the Chabad movement. They started acting out. They started messing with the concrete pouring equipment. Some of their people even decided to make their way into the tunnels to try and stop the crews from doing their work, but then the police eventually having to be called in, which is when they then clashed with young men both inside and outside of the building. That then leading to arrests, though it's not clear how many exactly. But we do know that at least 10 got criminal misdemeanor charges. And as of recording, it appears that construction crews have been able to get back to work. And if you've seen any footage from the scene, it's clear that defacing might be understating it. Right beyond the tunnel, these young Jewish men were doing things like tearing down wood paneling, destroying bricks, and throwing pews around an egg.
You think I give a fuck about any of this shit, man, nigga? Yeah. Y'all niggas got the right plan, motherfucker. This is one. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Bitch ass boy. Can't even handle a female, you bitch ass nigga. Fuck wrong with you?
Door. She's here. She's still here. 514. 511. Gas station. She has just left already. She has a goddamn suitcase with her. She's which way is that? She's at the gas.
Any other issues that may arise from the events that occurred last Wednesday will be handled at a future date by a different court. For purposes of the record, I want to make it clear that I am not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process of imposing last week before I was interrupted by defendant's actions. I am making my calendar page from that day an exhibit for the court. As it existed the moment I walked in, prior to anything happening, nothing's been changed, indicating the sentence I intended to impose.
All right. You know, I haven't seen my daughter in a long time. You know, and a lot of it has to do with this situation.
You didn't intend to injure her.
Right.
But the result of your recklessness injured her.
Right.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with her heart.
Not with her body.
Not with her body. I wouldn't have put her back in the car. I wouldn't have tried to keep her in the car. I would have gotten out that car and ran immediately.
And has described your relationship with Grace Jabari as tumultuous and abusive. How would you describe that two-year relationship?
I loved Grace. Our relationship was not healthy, you know, and that began to reveal itself over time.
Why'd you stay?
I was scared. With the red flags, I found that, and I use this word, I said, oh, this is dangerous. This is months before.
Work in Hollywood again?
Yeah, I do.
Kodak Black is set to remain in jail for the next 2 weeks as he faces a final hearing on the revocation of his supervised release in the Miami division. The hearing, scheduled before Judge Jose E. Martinez on January 22nd at 11:30 a.m., will determine whether Kodak Black will serve the original sentence that Donald Trump commuted in 2020. The recent legal issues stem from an incident in Plantation, Florida, where police found his Bentley SUV parked in a roadway with the engine running, leading to the detection of a strong odor as they approached the vehicle.
Rapper G Herbo, whose real name is Herbert Wright, was sentenced to 3 years probation for his involvement in a nationwide credit card scheme. If you guys don't know, in July 2023, G Herbo pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 1 account of making a false statement to a federal official. Now, the consequences of his actions has resulted in him getting probation for 3 years. In the court documents, they claim that G Herbo racked up over a $140,000 bill using people's credit cards to get things like cars, rental homes, rent jets, and get expensive dogs. G Herbo led us to believe that he was getting to the bag, but the whole time he was just stealing other people's bag and making it look like it was his own.
The problem for defense is that their defense is our client's a liar. That's the defense. Our client is a liar.
Prosecutors hoping to send Dwayne Davis to prison for the murder of Tupac Shakur say Davis's own statements work against him.
So you hand the gun to the back seat? Yeah.
In addition to interviews in his book, Davis spoke to Los Angeles police detectives in this 2008 recorded interview the 8 News Now investigators obtained.
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side, I would popped him.
Davis believes this conversation gave him immunity, even though it happened outside of Metro Police's jurisdiction. Prosecutors say Davis called the shots, but his nephew fired the bullets that killed Shakur. Davis's public defenders say his comments and others from purported gang members muddy this case's waters.
Part of the problem is this case has been tried on YouTube already.
As Judge Carly Kearney weighed setting bail, prosecutors pointed to a witness list they say another public defender, not even assigned to the case, provided Davis.
It was probably both unethical and ridiculously dangerous to provide a list of 39 people and tell Mr. Davis that these are people that have provided information to the police.
They claim Davis then told a family member the list of names and that those people may have been threatened.
This wasn't any surprise. Dwayne know everybody on there. Half of the people on that list aren't involved in the case. Half the list are dead.
When you walk into your local Bass Pro Shop, you don't really expect to find a flabby white male spread eagle in the aquarium. But it was in Alabama, so anything's possible. Much love. 42-year-old George Owens crashed his car into a telephone pole outside the Bass Pro Shop, stripped naked, exposing both his bait and tackle, and waltzed into the store like he owned the place. And soon thereafter, Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie cannonballed into the aquarium like it was an above-ground pool in the backyard.
Tokyo Tony just got exposed by Blac Chyna's ex-boyfriend, Twin Hector. If you guys don't know, he took to his Instagram and his Instagram story to say how Blac Chyna's mom, Tokyo Tony, had been sending him explicit texts and explicit pictures. Well, people didn't believe him. People said that he was clout chasing. People thought that he was just doing this to get some interaction. Well, a couple of days later, he has now unveiled the photos and unveiled the videos that Tokyo Tony has been sending to him. And sure enough, she has been sending pictures of her unclothed. She's been sending pictures of her woman area, tapping on it, playing with it. The whole situation is also crazy.
I sending naked pictures. Why would I send naked pictures to somebody that I despise and hate? Someone that was dating my daughter. Do that make sense? See, the conspiracy, you can't do it. We know what that is. You'll be okay. Can't get no clout. You want something from me. You won't get it.
Lil Nas X shows fake acceptance letter from Liberty University for him to attend biblical studies.
So Lil Nas X is going viral because he's mocking Jesus, and he's doing it by taking communion in such a way that promotes mockery. I'm going to tell you why this is dangerous. When you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, look at what it says. Therefore, whoever eats this bread and drinks this cup of the Lord in an unworthy manner will be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself. For so let him eat the bread and drink the cup. For he who eats and drinks in an unworthy manner eats and drinks judgment unto himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this is the reason why many are weak or have infirmity, and sick among you, and many sleep, which translates into death. I tell you the truth, unless he repents for this, he's drinking his judgment and eating his judgment, and God's going to make a public example out of him.
We worry about the health of our kids. We worry about the education of our kids.
Tatiana Lerner's son is a junior at James Madison. She helped lead a group of parents and politicians protesting outside the empty school Wednesday. Children were forced to go to remote learning after it was used overnight to evacuate migrants due to high winds at the Floyd Bennett Field tent encampment.
If it's a one-time thing, it's bad enough, but if it's going to be a reoccurring event, It's definitely not acceptable.
Assemblywoman Jamie Williams has been raising the alarm about Floyd Bennett Field from the beginning and says now her daughter, a James Madison senior, is sitting at home, not learning a thing.
Don't think they're doing schoolwork. My daughter is home. You know what she has to do today? Submit some missing work.
At one point, tensions boiled over during the protest press conference.
You're equating them to being filthy.
Desiree Joy Frias, a Bronx activist and lawyer, accused the gathered group of xenophobia. In fact, there was a bomb threat at the school overnight and many hate-filled calls to school officials, according to New York City Emergency Management Commissioner Zach Iskel, who oversaw the evacuation.
Yikes, stripes, fruit stripe gum. It's a yummy fruity one. Stick a stripe of fun. Just a flying flip-flop. Throw a woo, a pick-pop. Yikes, stripes, fruit stripe gum. A really wilder. A ton of fun, a miler. A flavor overloader. Wow, fruit exploder. Yikes, stripes, fruit stripe gum. Men from outer space, plunk a pop in your face. Fruity flavors in the pack. Gooey gobble, quick snack. Yikes, stripes.
Fruit stripe gum and bubble gum.
New footage of storm damage in South Carolina town.
Golden Globes. I'm your host, Joe Coy. I loved Oppenheimer. I just got one complaint. Needed another hour. I felt like it needed some more backstory. Oppenheimer answered a lifelong question that's been on my mind for years. Yes, scientists do get laid. As long as they look like Cillian Murphy. I watched Barbie. I loved it. I really did love it. I don't want you guys to think that I'm a creep, but it was kind of weird being attracted to a plastic doll. It's just something about your eyes, Ryan. Killers of the Flower Moon is so great. Killers of the Flower Moon, the cast is here. The one thing I learned about that movie is that white people stole everything. You guys stole everything. Not like 97%. You guys stole 100% of everything. You took the land, you took the oil, you took the premise of the movie? What, that was your premise? That's hilarious, I don't care. It's just that the room is really white. I watched Saltburn. Is Barry Keoghan here? Where's Barry Keoghan seated? Where are you? Right there. Where's your penis seated? Down front? That was the real star of the show.
50 Cent just entered the chat amidst this whole feud between Taraji and Oprah, and he's dragging Oprah to filth for being a Hollywood puppet and stealing from black actors. Now, in case y'all didn't know, 50 Cent has basically been coming for Oprah for years now. He accused Oprah of using black actors to build over $1 billion empire and throwing them under the bus when she's done with them.
Yeah, Steve Harvey here. You thought I was gonna run, huh? Y'all wondering, where's Steve Harvey? I know people been waiting on my response to what Cat Williams done said on Club Shay Shay. I was on Club Shay Shay before Cat Williams. See, the reason why it took so long, I had to pray to God to give me the strength not to get mad. God talked to me every day, every damn day. I've been in this business a long time, boy. You just sitting there talking that bullshit to Shannon Sharp, talking about I couldn't be a movie star. I guess you didn't see You Got Served. That there was acting. Then you gonna say I took Mark Curry's jokes and stole his show. You got the nerve to call me Mr. Potato Head. Calling my ass Mr. Potato Head. Yeah. Woo! That was a good one.
I'm not the comedian you can give that to. I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar.
Kat was trying to downplay your accomplishments. What to you is the driving force behind your success?
My success is my success. I want everybody to win. I love everybody.
I love that. Once again, you know, your ex-wife is going on tour with Kat.
I want everybody to win. I hope the tour is great.
In a significant development, the National Park Service has backtracked on its plan to remove the statue of William Penn from Philadelphia's Welcome Park. This decision came after strong public backlash highlighting the importance of preserving American history and heritage. Last week, the NPS aimed to create a more inclusive park experience, which included removing Penn's statue and home replica. Critics, including politicians and public figures, rallied against this, emphasizing Penn's role as a champion of democracy and religious freedom.
Britney Spears is speaking out to the public, claiming that she will never, ever be making music again. This all comes as reports came to light that the singer was tapping Charli XCX and even Julia Michaels to write the upcoming 10th studio album.
Now, according to court documents obtained by TMZ, Teyana Taylor is alleging that Iman Shumpert is a reckless father. Now, in those documents obtained by TMZ, Teyana Taylor said that Iman ignores the safety of their children when they're in his care, accusing him of smoking and under the influence while he's with them.
What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted.
Pope Francis calls for a global ban on surrogacy as he blasts the commercialization of pregnancy. The 87-year-old said the life of the unborn child must be protected and not suppressed or turned into an object of trafficking. This comes after he approved priests to bless same-sex couples and allowed homosexual parents who resorted to surrogacy to have their children baptized. Francis labeled it despicable and a grave violation of the dignity of the woman and the child, based on the exploitation of situations of the mother's material needs.
The judge said you had no remorse, Rachel. Is that true?
Nobody ever asked me if I had any remorse, and the only thing I can say right now is there's places people can donate to my legal funds. Thank you.
You are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa!
Oh. I like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
I just want to run it back, though, to the very beginning, because this is something that I just can't get over. I can't get over the gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity. When you look at the Democrats, they actually look like America. When I look at my party, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far as it relates to this committee. In every single hearing, y'all spin, spin, spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now, because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to spinning.
You know why you're so safe for you? Why? Because you're home. It really is.
You know what's fucked up about that video? Deborah Messing, the American from Brooklyn, New York, has more right to move to occupied Palestine than I do. A Palestinian born in Jerusalem. When I moved to New Zealand, because my mum is Kiwi, I had to give up my Palestinian passport because Israel wouldn't let me have dual citizenship. But Deborah Messing from New York can move to occupied Palestine, cherry pick a house, and get an entire Palestinian family removed. That's how all the illegal settlements in the West Bank are created. By squatters. Welcome home, Deborah.
Judge Judith Scheindlin, better known to TV audiences as Judge Judy, came out this week and released a head-scratching endorsement of Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley. Here is what Judge Judy had to say in her glowing endorsement of Nikki Haley, who, by the way, is still in a very distant second place behind Donald Trump everywhere except for New Hampshire. Judge Judy said this: "I'm proud to endorse Nikki Haley because she is whip smart, has executive credentials, and was a superb governor. She has a quality of real common sense. I truly think she can," and here's the head-scratching part, "restore America, and believe she is the future of this great nation."
Actress Nia Long has been awarded $32,500 in monthly child support from her ex-fiancé. These two allegedly called it quits in 2002 after Ime allegedly cheated on Nia with a Boston Celtics staff member. They're alleging that the staff member was married as well. After news broke that Ime was cheating on Nia, she immediately called it quits, and she also requested primary custody of their 12-year-old son. Now, according to The Blast, Udoko's disposable income is about $465,000 a year. And since their son spends 95% of his time with Nia Long, Nia is obviously getting granted custody. Initially, he was supposed to pay $56,000 in child support, but I guess they came to a mutual decision that he only needs to pay $32,000. While there has been no word on if Ime still has a relationship with the woman he allegedly cheated on Nia Long with, and he has to pay this money every month until this child is 18.
Boxer Ryan Garcia announced the birth of his child on Instagram last week, only then to bizarrely announce his divorce less than an hour later. The 25-year-old shared the exciting news announcing the birth of his beautiful firstborn son alongside a photo of the child with his wife Andrea Selena. However, within an hour, Garcia shared news of the divorce from the mother of his new son. In a now-deleted post, he said, "As I step into a new chapter in my life, it's with a heavy heart to share that Drea and I have decided to divorce. I'm deeply grateful for the years we shared and for her unwavering commitment to our family."
Tell the folks that? You bitch. He had a television show. He failed. He's had opportunities one time after another. He doesn't measure up. He's the dude that's going to have a funeral and ain't going to be no pallbearers. You get within a mile of his presence. Wrap your arms around yourself to protect your soul. He is a devil. The worst. That's all I have to say.
It looks like there's going to be a premiere free agency within the sports media world. Stephen A. Smith is not planning to stay at ESPN when his contract is up in 18 months. Obviously, he's probably one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known sports personalities on the planet. I mean, from First Take to just overall ESPN coverage to videos of him screaming on the internet, this man has truly taken over the sports world. And the reasoning for him leaving is genuinely shocking to me, and I honestly love it. ESPN in 2009 made some cuts. Stephen A. Smith was one of them. And he still hasn't, gotten over it. I don't blame him. For someone that makes that network so much money now, thinking about the past, how they were just so easily ready to let you go, I'd be pissed too. I probably would leave too.
Tiger Woods and Nike are breaking up. After 27 years together, the legendary golfer announced on X that he is ending his partnership with the iconic sportswear brand. Woods has been a Nike ambassador since 1996, initially signing a 5-year deal worth $40 million the year he turned pro. And he's been repping the swoosh every round since. He went on to sign multiple extensions, including a 5-year deal in 2001 worth $100 million, an 8-year deal in 2006 worth an estimated $160 million to $320 million, and a 10-year deal in 2013 worth $200 million, meaning the 15-time major winner was paid anywhere from $500 million to $660 million throughout his professional career, making his endorsement deal with Nike one of the most lucrative in sports history. Not not to mention the billions of dollars in revenue he helped generate. Tiger Woods has worn Nike at every hole of all 5 Masters wins, 4 PGA Championship wins, 3 US Open wins, and 3 Open Championship wins. Even amidst a wild sex scandal and DUI that turned many of his sponsors away, Nike stood by his side. So whose logo will Tiger Woods wear next? He didn't say, but he did assure fans that there will certainly be another chapter.
According to the report, ESPN was forced to give back more than 30 Emmy Awards after it was discovered that the network used fake names to get golden statues for top talent on its flagship college football show, College Game Day. According to the Emmy rules, the show's on-air talent ineligible to win awards given to the show as a whole because they have their own category. So the network actually submitted fake names of its top personalities and listed them as associate producers. Someone at the network then sent off the statues to be re-engraved with the real names before shipping them off to the talent, who reportedly had no idea about any of this crazy scheme. Iconic College Game Day host Lee Corso went in the books as a 7-time Emmy winner under the alias of Lee Clark. And Kirk Herbstreit, widely considered the top analyst in college football, scored 7 statutes as Kirk Henry. So they could win a trophy? Most of the people had a room full of trophies to begin with. It's coming at the wrong time. This has been a huge week for real sports, most notably departures of 2 of the biggest football coaches of their generation, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. But the network that's supposed to be reporting all this news has been the one making it for a lot of the wrong reasons.
Warriors star Draymond Green is now allowed to be back with the team after an indefinite suspension lasted about 12 games. Green was suspended after hitting an opponent during a game last month. He didn't play in the Warriors' loss to Toronto last night. However, some fans we talked to are excited to see him back in uniform.
I had a conversation with Adam Silver, commissioner of our league. And I just told him, Adam, it's too much for me. Like, it's too much. Like, this is too much. It's all becoming too much for me. And I'm going to retire. And Adam said, you're making a very rash decision.
The 26-year-old high school basketball player is a beast. He was posing as a high school student to relive his glory days on the court. In his true high school days, Sidney Gilstrap Portley was dominant on the court, but his basketball career ended shortly after high school. So in 2017, he created a fake identity, posed as a 17-year-old, enrolled in a Dallas school claiming to be a hurricane refugee, went to class daily, and joined the basketball team. And he was just dominating these kids on the court, putting up 40 points a game and was voted as Offensive Player of the Year. Things were going great for 9 months. He was a star player, popular in school, and even had a 14-year-old girlfriend. And he did all this while having a fiance and a child of his own. It all came to an end when he played against a school who happened to be coached by the same person who coached him in his true high school days. That coach instantly recognized Sidney and told people that Sidney was a former player who graduated many years ago. Action was taken, but people were furious with the outcome because Sidney saw 0 jail time despite dating a 14-year-old thanks to a plea deal he got.
A'ja Wilson retiring her mom is elite. Listen, I'm sure she's not the first WNBA player to ever do it, but it's the first I've heard, okay? And this is insane. Her mom tweeted, A'ja was full of surprise this past Christmas. Retiring me was the most thoughtful and loving. I am one blessed mama. Y'all, this is the American dream, okay? I don't want to hear about nobody's startup or nothing, okay? I love this.
All right. Dang, I want to knock that.
She ran out her shoe. Go to Leia. Go Lele. Go Lele. Let's go Lele. Good job, Lele. Let's go Lele. Let's go Lele. Let's go Lele. Let's go Lele. Lele. Let's go to Leia. Come on, mama. Let's go to Leia. Let's go to Leia. Let's go to Leia. Let's go to Leia.
She ran out her shoe and had it.
Let's go.
She lost her shoe and had it.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all gotta check this out.
We got Georgia Southern versus Louisiana Monroe, 10 seconds left. Southern down 2 straight to the Baja. Drop off to Taryn Ward for the layup. But it don't stop there. This might be the best sequence of her career. Look, half the team lit. They not even paying attention, high-fiving and shit. But Taryn Ward still locked in this motherfucker. Grabs the steal and for whatever reason pulls up from right there. But it's cash, dummy. Now it's lit in the borough. Hey, women's basketball is lit right now. I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all better tap in. Taryn Ward just went stupid. 5 points in 10 seconds is crazy. Hey, that's some March Madness 12/5 seed. We just got to the new year. Taryn Ward been going crazy all season, averaging 23 and 10. This ain't nothing new for Shorty. Y'all go check her out if you haven't. We're gonna have to run it back one time because that shit was so crazy. First of all, Shorty got straight downhill and knew already she was giving it right to Ward. Easy lay, but they getting prepared for overtime. Like I said, they just hyped that they done tied the game. But it's still 4.5 seconds left. This right here is terrible quarterback. Put your receiver in all type of harm's way. Ward said, let me get that. And by the way, you can get it out the net. Bro, it was 3 seconds left when she got the ball. I don't know why she ain't take no dribble. The basketball god said, fuck it, just shoot it from here. The funniest part is peep my son in the blue. Like, yeah, the hoes gonna love this one. Where the fuck did Buddy come from? I can guarantee you he wasn't supposed to be on that court. Hey, shout out them Georgia Southern Eagles, though. That's one of the craziest finishes I've seen in women's college basketball. 5 points in 10 seconds is crazy.
Simone Biles is once again named Female Athlete of the Year by the Associated Press. Her triumphant return after a 2-year hiatus included her record 8th U.S. National Championship. She also picked up a 6th World all-around gold medal. This is the 3rd time Biles has won the AP honor. So proud of our hometown star.
Absolutely.
Celebrity Fashion Spotlight, we have my girl Simone Biles, who is slaying for her Vanity Fair issue, and she was wearing designer brands such as Rick Owens, Fendi, Saint Laurent, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and you know the girls love Alaya. I believe this look is Rick Owens, and it was given avant-garde. She looks so elegant, poised. I love this color on melanin complexion, and come on, she was serving inches. Strut your stuff, girl. Look at your smiles, shine bright, baby girl. Listen, my takeaway from the article is remembering who you are. All right, look at these shoes, look at her body, look at the face. She was eating the girlies up with every look, so it was 10s across the board for me. But what do you guys think? Was she serving looks or not?
For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless you all.
What's up, TWC?
What's
up? All right. So I have an announcement. As you know, some of us have been working really hard to earn a special incentive for all the hard work that we put in. And I want to share something with you that I think will make all of your days. Okay? Take a look at the screen.
Using this controller, I'd like to show you an aspect of the software-defined vehicle.
New year, new laws that include pay raises for millions of Americans. 25 states and dozens of municipalities plan to increase minimum wage this year. That means at least $20 an hour for certain food service workers in California.
Who wouldn't mind
get an extra $4 increase in their pay.
And California companies also now cannot ask employees about using marijuana off the job. A win for workers in Alabama. They'll no longer owe state taxes on overtime pay. Guns are now banned from most public places in California, and Michigan has a host of new gun laws, including universal background checks.
These laws represent a sea change in Michigan's gun safety regime.
Texas is targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, banning them from public colleges and universities, while restrictions in Kansas will prevent transgender people from changing their assigned sex on birth certificates. New rules of the road in California require police to tell drivers why they're being pulled over before they begin asking questions. And in Illinois, video conferencing behind the wheel is banned, but hanging fuzzy dice on your mirror is now legal.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me one second.
A new law for telemarketers in New Jersey includes providing a callback number.
Oh, gee, I can't talk right now. Why don't you give me your home number and I'll call you later?
It's inspired by this scene from the 90s sitcom Seinfeld.
Oh, I guess you don't want people calling you at home. No. Well, now you know how I feel.
And another new law here in California, 1st through 6th graders will now be taught cursive writing in school, a lost art in the digital age.
Here's what's buzzing in the media world today. The radical activist journalist Don Lemon is diving into independent media with his new show, Don Lemon, airing 3 times a week in 30-minute segments. Lemon is following in the footsteps of Tucker Carlson, embracing the digital journalism revolution. Set to debut on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter, Lemon is breaking away from traditional media. This move signals a major shift in the media landscape overall, where figures like Lemon seek direct audience engagement, free from mainstream narratives. His show will cover politics, culture, sports, and entertainment, offering unfiltered content similar to Carlson. Both Lemon and Carlson have left their networks in 2023. They represent a new wave of journalists shaping the narrative. With platforms like X, the journalism field is evolving towards more personalized, diverse content.
To be the president, Barbie?
Yes.
You could be her easily. What would be your first rule as president?
I'll be like, be sassy.
You're already doing that,
Avery.
Avery.
Got that.
Sorry, they want to give you a present.
Here you go.
Oh my gosh, what is this? Thank you so much.
We're all besties now.
Look at us.
Ah!
And the Emmy goes to Hiqi Palmer.
Wow, that is so exciting. Thank you so much. I'm really just so thankful. I'm almost speechless, but I'm also going to say something fast because that music is scary when it gets you. But I want to just give a huge thanks, obviously, to the people that allowed this to happen. Thank you to Jimmy Fallon for being an awesome friend and mentor. I really couldn't do it without him. Thank you to NBC. And also, thank you to my son, God, for keeping me going. And thank you to all of you. Thank you to the Academy. Also, Carol Burnett, you are amazing. And I just love you and appreciate everything you've done. Okay, I beat the time.
And the Emmy goes to Storm Reed, The Last of Us.
Oh, I'm such a mess. Thank you. 30 seconds is just not enough time. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. Craig Mazin, HBO, my team at CAA, 360, Allie, Evelyn, Dono. Oh man, Mr. Chris in heaven, Kevin Houvain, to my family, my friends who hold me down, to my mom, I love you. The sacrifices of perseverance, you are a human personification of a Renaissance woman. This is proof that you can do anything. I'm just a young girl from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you to the Television Academy. Thank you.
Hayao Miyazaki won his first Golden Globe. He came out of retirement for The Boy and the Heron. But I think we can all say that it's well deserved. And it was going up against movies like Wish and Elemental from Disney. but this man has been pumping out straight art for years.
Sorry, burping, indigestion. Didn't need to say that. Otherwise, this is a nice moment for me. I was, I've blown it already, Jazz. You were right. You said, just say thanks and leave. You were right. I was nominated for a Golden Globe like 20 years ago, and when that moment passed, I sort of remember thinking I'm never going to be back in this room again.
Sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Come on. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Whoa, last time I checked, I'm still hot. Real hot. Kept it dope without a pill pop. Bill.
No, they gon' hate cause they can't obtain it. I just wanna love you, baby. I just wanna love you, baby. Give me something different. Build a perfect world. Build a perfect world.
I can't tell him I love him, he know I'm on P shit. Buy the pussy, he know it ain't free shit. Drunk off tequila, I'm sending him 3 pics. He a gangster, I love me some street dick. Shaking my ass on the car at the freak knee.
You did me wrong, when a good girl gone, she gone forever. When a real bitch leave, you gon' wish you never met her. And I'm a real bitch, don't make them like me no more. Before I share my bed, I sleep.
We sold the movie rights.
Yes! We think it is going to be a bestseller.
I'm sure white people on the Hamptons will delight in it.
Yeah, we will. It's going to be huge.
Can you stick around and help with Mother?
I gotta get home.
It's 8 in the morning.
I'm not flying the fucking plane, bro.
When the going gets tough, gotta.
There's only one way to find out. Hold on.
I want to make this clear. The spy's life is a life full of sacrifices. Well, not that kind of sacrifice.
When I first got here, they didn't give me a name. Just number 21. Treated us like savages.
That's it. That's your name. Savage 21.
21 Savage.
21 Savage.
Yeah.
I like that.